they're kind of making their bed right now, because if they don't answer to it now and kind of get it under wraps right now, they will have to answer it for what all the movement before the contracts is up in the collective bargaining agreement. So when them TV contracts come up and it's time to negotiate that money, the owners are gonna press hard for certain things that are gonna benefit them in a way that doesn't allow players that's so much player movement, because whether you believe it or not, it's not good for the league. It's not good for the league at all. And Commissioner Adam Silver is if he comes out and makes a statement, which he did, then you know it's a problem. But I digress. Let's get back to Russ. So with Russ, I don't believe that he's like lost any athletic ability or anything like that. I just believe that like he needs more time with the Lakers, and really ultimately he needs a new situation. That's why he realizes that he wants a trade, regardless if they're willing to work it out. Because from what's been reported, that his agent for a long time, like since he came in the league, him and Russ decided to part ways mutually because of differences of opinion philosophically. He believes that Russ should stay in La La Land and stand with the Los Angeles Lakers, and Russ believes that moving on is the best thing. It's like a double-edged sword. So I don't knock Russ and I don't knock his agent, because on one hand his agent's right. It just doesn't look good for you to have moved that many times. So 4 years, 4 different teams, like it's not like right now. And it's crazy for his agent to have that much foresight to know that Russ, in a long term, this is not going to be looking good for you. He's not thinking about the now. And the crazy thing is, like, he gets paid for the now. So regardless of whether you go back to Oklahoma City, or whether you go to Brooklyn, or whether you go anywhere in the league, back to Washington, doesn't matter. You're still going to be paid the same amount, but the over time, like in down the line, when people look at you and your documentary is told, there's going to be a big portion of your career that could have been part of this narrative, but it's going to have to get cut out for this trade, for this thing. And if it is included in the documentary, it surely won't paint you in a positive light, no matter how they try to spin it. No matter how tenacious they say you are, or how furious, or how with fury you tack the basket, it's not going to work, because that narrative just doesn't stick. Because it's just not a good thing. It doesn't look good, because every time that you have to switch a team, ultimately what's going on, or what's being said, is that there's an issue. So if there's an issue, then that has to be highlighted. There's not just like Russ wants to leave because of nothing. Russ wants to leave because he doesn't get along with James Harden. Russ wants to leave because he doesn't get along with Bradley Beal. Or Russ wants to leave because he doesn't want to be a part of the rebuild in Oklahoma City. Which that's the only trade that people was able to justify. What happened in Houston with him and James Harden was a whole situation in itself, where come reports like James don't want to play with him, but James has had like his own issues in the media and dealing with his issues with like wanting players and then not wanting to play with them the following year. So even that people were able to forgive him on, but still people was like, you guys had a good chance to play with quality caliber teams. Like the problem in OKC was that you just didn't have enough help to win. And then you get to Houston, you're actually on the contender, and you guys kind of, that series with the Blazers, that just is awful. That was awful. So, will Russ get traded? The short story is maybe. The long story is it's complicated. The medium story is most likely he will get traded. It'll fall somewhere in between complicated and simple. Meaning that a team's going to want to, for business purposes, that part won't be reported, but the assets that the Lakers are going to have to give up to get rid of him, which is complicating that. And there's reports that LeBron's not happy about that because I think it's like a 27 and 29th pick I mean 2027 and 2029 picks that they would have to give up to get rid of Russ because just a large amount of money, and he's bad goods. Whenever in the NBA where a person requests for a trade and they demand for or they request for specific teams, it kind of kills the trade value, or it heightens the trade value in this case, because now people know you have to get rid of this person. So in order for you to get rid of them, they're going to want a premium to be like, haha, you don't have like, you have to get rid of him. So you're going to give us what we want. And that's the situation that the Lakers in. The Lakers is kind of like, we don't know, because I think all the owners, there's like two things, a couple things, layered things going on. Jeannie Buss doesn't want to like lay down for LeBron. Because she's kind of like, we got you, Russ, and now you don't want Russ the following year. Which, from a basketball perspective, if she's seen what's going on, she shouldn't want Russ either. And then on the other hand, you have the owners who are just fed up with so much movement going on in the NBA, where these guys are requesting trades when they have 3, 4, 2, 1 years left on their contract. It's just not good for negotiations. The other argument to that is that when they're ready to move on from a player and he's not living up to the contract, they trade him. So that thing works both ways, in my opinion. So will Russ get traded? We're going to have to stick around and find out. You guys like, because it really helps out. Please help me get this monetization. I don't even know what the other conjugation would be for that word, but please help me get the channel monetized by liking, subscribe if you can. Look forward to next week's video. Again, this video is sponsored by Sea Solar, founded in Staten Island, giving a special discount to Staten Island residents. So get your percentage